Before someone comes in for a Cuddlist session, usually they are interacting with the Cuddlist in some way before. Can you tell me what that conversation is like?
Sure. Different cuddlists do it in different ways, but there's usually some kind of initial meeting and getting a feel for someone before you just start having a cuddle session. I usually do mine over the phone, although I'll offer people to do it over Zoom as well. There's lots of different apps and technology these days, so people can get as creative as they want to on how to get that first impression of someone and how to get a feel for it. So while at Cuddlist, we do have the agreement, everybody that's on the Cuddlist website agrees that they're not going to discriminate against anybody based categorically on anything like gender or race or physical ability. Um, we absolutely encourage everybody to be very discerning about each individual person that they would have a session with and to trust their gut and that that's the best way to keep yourself safe. Like if you've got a, oh, I don't know about this person, like just don't do it. There's nothing that, you know, it's erring on the side of keeping yourself safe. So having some kind of an initial conversation where you get to notice whether you feel safe with this person, whether you want to get together with them or not. Um, and there are three ways that I encourage people to notice that what the person is saying, so the potential client, what they're saying to you, and like what their body language or tone or whatever is saying, and then how you feel about it. So trust all three of those things, and they need to all be yeses, right? So if you say to the person something like, because I always cover something like this in the that initial conversation of like, hey, I just want to talk with you about sexuality and touch and cuddling, not because I think you're confused, but because I think our culture is really confused. And so I want to make sure that you know this is a platonic, non-sexual cuddle. That means we keep our clothes on, we're not touching each other under our clothes, we're not making out, we're not trying to create arousal in ourselves or each other. And I just want to check, right? Does that all sound good to you? Is that what you're looking for? Is that kind of platonic cuddling? Clients usually say yes. Every once in a while they say no. And then I'm like, great, thank you for saving me and you so much time and frustration, right? Because the last thing I want is somebody showing up thinking that they're going to get like a happy ending cuddle. And that's not what I offer. And then they're like, well, damn, why did I do that? And I'm like, well, yeah, why did we do that? That's not what I offer. So getting really clear there. But then the thing I say is, and the other side of that agreement is I would never ask you to guarantee that you're not going to get aroused. Arousal is a function of our nervous system. Most of us have very little control over it. What I'm asking you to agree is to control your behavior. And I'm telling you, I'll control my behavior so that we'll keep it in platonic cuddles. If some kind of arousal happens, we'll probably shift to a more nurturing position. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we won't. But I'm certainly not going to shame you for whatever comes up. So that's usually very reassuring to clients, both the like very clear, this is not a sexy kind of service, and the very clear, you're not going to get shamed, but we're going to keep those boundaries of that agreement. The other thing I usually cover in screening is my cancellation policy. And since I've started talking to people about this, cancellations have gone way, 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 way down, which is lovely. My cancellation policy goes like this. Different cuddlists have different ways, but I agree that if I cancel or reschedule the session on you within 24 hours, I will offer you a session of the same length for free that we had scheduled. And I ask that you agree if you're going to cancel or reschedule on me within 24 hours, you will pay me in full for the session we had scheduled. And most people to that are like, oh, that's really generous. I haven't heard of a cancellation policy like that because they're used to having to like pay if they do it, but not to have the practitioner offer them anything. And so I really feel like that sets a tone of mutual respect where we get to both notice it's a big deal for both of us to show up and do this time together because it is.
Now, if someone is not a fit, can you say some ways that they might be hearing that? I mean, you kind of gave an example, but aside from I don't think this is a fit, like how they might hear that so that they know this is what would be said to anybody in this scenario. It's not personal.
Hmm. Um, yeah, I mean, I think probably my default is just I don't think this is a fit. I'm not. I don't think I offer what you're looking for. And to the best of my ability, I'll usually see if I can refer them to someone else who feels like they might be a good fit. I've got a pretty good Rolodex of different kinds of practitioners. My gosh, Rolodex, I just dated myself. Contact list. In any case, I try to refer people if I can. I don't know that I've had anybody that I'm like, you are just a horrible person and you shouldn't work with anyone. Like, I've never had to give somebody that message. So it's just usually not a good fit for the service.
Makes sense. Well, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
absolutely.